My name is Chris Kroll, and a couple months ago I started this group, and I see a lot of familiar faces, so thank you all for coming back. The mission of our organization is, our group is for families with advanced learner or gifted children who live in or attend school in Loudoun County. And we support the next generation of innovators and problem solvers by educating parents on how best to address the special needs of their children. So this is what we do. Welcome to the December meeting of the Loudoun County Parents of Gifted Students. Topic today is growing good people, developing the social emotional intelligence of academically gifted children. Our speaker is Lenny McDOUGAL, chess instructor, and Lenny is going to talk about how gifted children can learn critical life skills through playing chess. Lenny.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. It's just, I didn't expect it, so I'm happy as a kid. My business is chess, and it's called Mr. Max Nights. And when I first moved to Loudoun County, you know, I wanted to get involved with teaching chess as I had done in the past 25 years. So I heard of the Silver Knights, and you know, talked to the guy, had a meeting with him, and I was like, okay, I'll get back to you. And I went home that night and I talked to my wife and I said, man, I can do what he's doing. I know enough about chess. I played enough chess. You know, at one point I was a ranked player and participated in a few competitions when I was younger. So I said, I can do this. My background is behavior management. I worked with troubled youth for years, starting in '87 at the Psych Institute of Washington. And in working with those kids, it was really interesting what I saw chess do for them. It was like the behaviors that they had in the classroom totally just went away when you put a chessboard in front of them. And kids started taking less timeouts, and it was great. So, you know, 18 years later, I moved to Loudoun County. Now I'm not working with troubled youth anymore. 5 years later after that, I retired from working with that population. I worked at a residential treatment center at Graydon Manor. There I taught chess too. So I said, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. You know, my wife was like, you're gonna leave your job and you're gonna follow your dreams. And I said, really? And she says, yes, you are. So she's my biggest supporter. So I went for it, and I got a huge opportunity to run an after-school program at a local elementary school, and Lovettsville Elementary, which is where I live. And from there, it just grew. I really didn't know how I was going to do it or how everything was going to pan out, but I knew that I had a passion for teaching chess. And I saw what teaching chess did to those kids that had emotional issues, and it did the same thing for kids that were smart, kids that were bright, kids that, you know, were good in the classroom. And I agree when you say that gifted kids are silly or they don't know how to socially interact with their peers, but they're better with adults. That's very true. I saw all of that. But what I found is that when you get a group of kids like that, teaching them chess, everything kind of comes together. They learn how to socially interact with each other. You see all kind of behaviors that you would want your kid to improve on, even with gifted children. I mean, I recently had an incident where, and this was at Loudoun Country Day, which I love teaching there. One kid made another kid cry. And the kid came to me. I love this kid. She came to me and she says, he made me cry. He teased me because he won the game. I said, what a perfect opportunity, to myself. I said, what a perfect opportunity. This is a teachable moment to teach them about empathy, you know, to teach you about sportsmanship. You know, what my goal is to teach kids how to be better problem solvers, how to be able to think critically about things, how to look at things differently, be a creative thinker, to have passion about something, to be able to see something and say, you know, maybe that it can work a different way. So, you know, they're creative. And, you know, I love what I do. I see a lot of parents out here that work with their kids. And, you know, I had this big old speech drawn up, and I was like, I'm not reading that. Because, you know, this is really about talking about how chess can help kids that are gifted, that are bright, and that are intelligent. And I'm telling you, socially, I've seen chess do that for kids. You know, and I watch them every day, especially at Loudoun Country Day and the other elementary schools that I teach at. These kids, you know, they sit for an hour and a half and they play chess. And it's so much that they are getting from it, and you can see the joy every time they run to the multi-purpose room. They line up, they're ready to go. They help me move tables. They can't wait to get in, and when it's time to go, I was like, okay, my mom's coming, or my dad's coming, but I'll see you next week. And that's what I love about it. They keep coming back, and I think that I wanted to show you guys a couple things on the board, if that's okay. First of all, how many chess players are in this room that know anything about chess? Come on, don't be shy. All of you know something about chess. All right, so I'll do it. Can you hear me if I move around? I'll do it. Did you know? Did you know that the game can be over in 2 moves? Who knew that? One person knew that? I don't believe that. One person. Now, obviously, I'm going to show you that the game can be over in 2 moves. But this is a complicated game. People have been playing this game since, who knows how long? Nobody knows. Anybody know where it came from? Huh? India, thank you. His son is in my class. He was the only kid that knew that chess started in India, back in like 500. Before people, they used to call these guys that's called a rook, they used to call them elephants. Chaturanga army. Okay? So here's a demonstration of how the game can be over in 2 moves. Obviously, somebody has to cooperate for that to happen. You know, because it's just not going to happen. You know, first of all, I teach these kids the fundamental aspect of chess. That means they have to follow certain principles, do certain things. If you don't do those things, maybe you'll get beat real quick. But if you do what I'm telling you, maybe you'll last 10 minutes with a good player. With a player your caliber of skills, maybe you'll last longer. But here's how you'll last in like 2 seconds. Y'all ready? Here it comes. First, White's going to do a typical opening where he brings his king pawn up twice. And that's something you can do. For those of you who don't know chess, pawns can move up 2 squares or 1. In this situation, we're just going to move up 1. Black responds by doing a no-no right from the beginning. And I tell all my kids this. He moves his pawn up in front of the bishop. The bishop's king's pawn. Now, why is that horrible? Number one, the knight can't get out. And you want your knight to get out on the king's side. So I tell all my kids, don't ever move this pawn up. Ever, 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 ever. So guess what they do? They never do it. Because I tell them to. They believe anything I tell them to do. You know, I walk into class and say, trust me. You'll be a better chess player. Don't do that. Why? Look at that gap. See that? That's easily exploitable. So here comes the next blunder. White's just going to do anything. Let's say White did that, Black did that, he did that, and then there's the blunder right there. The G pawn. Anybody see checkmate? Ah, where's all my Where's all my chess people? You see it? You see it? Yeah, the queen goes right here, game's over, right? Did I move the wrong one? Sorry. Doesn't matter, it's still over. It's still over. And now you have to replay everything and put everything back, dry all your tears away, go to the bathroom, all that stuff is what my kids always want to do, like in the middle of games or when they lose. They say, can I go to the bathroom? Can I go get a drink of water? And here we are again having a teachable moment at the water fountain. It's going to be okay. I lost many games. It's all right. These kids are gifted, but they work on things that we have to work on as adults in our lives, you know? So, man, I could talk about chess all day, but they told me I got 2 minutes. So, any questions about chess, my program? I didn't really talk a lot about my program, but I can tell you this. My goal is to, and this was a big, huge goal that started like 3 years ago, but I want to open up programs in Loudoun County schools, elementary and middle schools, with the goal of bringing them together, fill up some cafeteria, some fire hall, some multi-purpose room, and have them compete for trophies about this big. And that can happen. You know, if it's happened in New York, why not in Loudoun County? Why not? And the kids, they love it. It's something about the way a kid loves chess is the same thing it did to me when I was 10 years old. And I saw pieces that looked odd, they looked weird, and my whole thing was, what do they do? And what it did for me, it made me a better person in the classroom. Yes, ma'am. I have a did you know in here. And I got this fact offline, but I wrote it down in my brochure. I don't know how true it is now, because you know, you read, if you get it off the internet, they say it's true, right? So if you think it's not true, don't beat me up about it, but I'm gonna tell you what it says. Test scores improved 17% for students who regularly engage in chess classes, as opposed to or compared with 4% of children who participate in other enriched activities. So what does that mean? I mean, that just means what it says. I don't know how true it is, but I know the kids that I teach, they tend to do well in class. They tend to socially interact with each other better, you know. So ask the teacher. They'll tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Do you find any benefit if it's not chess class time, or if they have time at home to do the online chess quiz or online chess, or does it need to be the board with someone else?
Well, I like to think of it like this, and you know, I'll do a golf analogy. If you're swinging a golf club and you're swinging the wrong way all the time, you're never going to be a good golf player. So if you're learning, you got to learn the right way. I played with people that said they played for over 20 years and didn't know what en passant means, or didn't know what castle means. And so I do an en passant. They said, "What are you doing? You can't do that. That's illegal." No, it's not. So I say if they're learning, they have to learn the right way. And in my program, that's where we start from ground zero, whether a kid tells me they're advanced or whether a kid says they're a beginner. We all start from the ground level up, because they can't be good unless they are all learning the same thing the right way. Am I over? Gosh, hold on, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add, there are no teachable moments online.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Exactly. And they can't, you know, one thing you get from me, you get passion. They can't see the passion in my face when I say, this is the right way to do this, or I'm so happy that you done this that way. I had a tournament just recently at an elementary school, a small tournament, unrated tournament. And I watched a couple games that was fascinating. I'm talking about 8 to 10-year-old kids moving like grandmasters, doing discoveries, you know, pinning their pieces. And that may be a foreign language, but those are chess terms, you know, and they're doing it. They may not know that they're doing it, but they're doing it. So I'm the teacher. I come back and say, did you know you just pinned that guy's knight? And they go, what? Yeah. We're going to learn about that next week. So they're the first one in class. Let's talk about pins. All right, I'm going to stop because I can talk a long time about this, but thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.